Hello, my people. You're welcome to the biggest show on the continent right now, MS Live. With your boy, Mac Moulton. This is the show that we have inside for conversation with your favorite artists pertaining to show business. You can follow us on every single platform. MS24GH, hashtag MS Live. You can follow me as well, Mac underscore Moulton. You can also watch us live on ABC News GH. So tell a friend to tune in. We're going to have, insightful conversation, and we are going to serve you with great delight. And I have my brother who is joining me by Zoom all the way from UK. He has a Ghanaian root, and he has been doing music for a decade now. He does Afro swing, and I have my brother Kojo's fans joining me by Zoom. So, Kojo, you good?
Yeah. Big blessings, man.
Nice, my brother. When was the last time you came home?
I was there last year, October.
Okay, yeah. So how was the energy? How was the feeling?
Yeah, it was different, man. I can't complain. It's always good feeling to come back home.
Nice. That's a great one. That's a great one. I want us to kick off the conversation with your new EP you just dropped. Hello, it's me again. Let's talk about the EP. 6 songs. What influenced the decision to put out that project?
So it's been a while since I put out some music, due to me traveling, touring, doing shows, and there was a high demand for music. So I thought, you know what, let me just put some music together and release it and give to the people. So that was the inspiration.
Okay. So can you tell us about the chemistry and the working relationship with Qbeat? Because I know you worked with him on this
No, that's my
project.
brother, man. That's my
Okay.
brother, man. You know
Okay.
what I mean? And there's always a chemistry there. And he's very talented, man. And the experience he's got in the game as well. So it was quite easy. Anytime we're in the studio together, it's easy. It just flows. So yeah,
Okay.
big up to Kill Beats, man.
Okay. Can you walk us through the creative process creating this EP? Hello, it's me again.
I'll be honest with you. It wasn't that hard. Like when it comes to making music and being in the studio, it's second nature.
Mm.
And I just thought, you know what? Let me just give the people something that they haven't really heard me. They're not really used to. That grittiness. I kind of do the grittiness. That hood mentality, but with the Afro. And I thought, you know what? Let me just give them some sweet sounds. And
Okay.
majority of the music on the EPs is it got that feeling. So that was the creative process behind it. It's not too technical.
Okay. But what made you think it's the appropriate time to drop it? What made it the appropriate time to drop it?
Summertime.
Mm.
Um, there's a high demand for music in the UK, especially. But also just to give the African side, like, yo, I'm still here, still creating, and that's how I had to do it.
Okay. That's very cool. I know it's 6 songs. Apart from Qbeat, how many producers did you work with on this EP? Hello? Kojo?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
broski, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry about that.
yeah, I said apart from Qbeat, how many producers did you work with on this project?
The three producers. So Kill Beats one. Two Chris, who's from Nigeria but he's based in London,
Okay.
and one of my younger brothers, SV, who's based in London as well.
Okay.
So yeah, those three.
Okay. So, Kojo, I want to ask 6 songs. Which of the song was it hard for you to create that you find a bit challenging with?
None of them.
Okay.
It'd be too easy. I'll tell you. It'd be second nature. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see. I listened to a couple of the songs on the EP and I like it's very great. So apart from the EP, let's talk about the artwork of the EP. Can you take us through the artistic direction of it, of the artwork? What does it symbolize?
It symbolizes. Okay, so when you look at the artwork, the cover of the artwork, right? Um, I'm chilling, sitting on a chair, but I'm calm.
Yeah.
Nothing too much is going on, which shows that when creating music, it's got a calm feeling, especially my music. It's got that calm feeling. So I'm sitting down chilling, but I've got the stereos next to me, and it's just a symbol of like music, just listening to music, man. That calm music, and that's the whole reason behind that. Nothing too much, but it's a bit simple, you know.
Okay, okay. We are going to talk about your the show that you were on, which was the Bus Out Fest, which happened at Birmingham. We're going to talk a bit about it, but I want us to talk about still. We are still on your EP. It's
Yeah,
out. It's all over the place, worldwide. How's the reception been? Because it's been
oh,
a while. You have been dropping songs.
it's been wonderful, man. Like the feedback's great, you know. As I said before, they haven't really heard music like that from me, you know, and it's been very receptive. Right now, it's been how long? So about 3, 4 days,
Yeah.
and it's over 200,000 streams. So we're keeping pushing, man. We're gonna keep pushing still.
Okay. So Kojo, I know you are very active when it comes to your music, but why the break? Why was there any reason behind it? Why you took a while to drop music? Was
I'll
there
be
any
honest
reason?
with you. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, when I first started music, which was in 2014, I didn't stop doing music until, well, let's say COVID, right?
Yeah.
I've been on the road all those years, non-stop music, studio, shooting videos. So, everything was coming at a pace. So I felt like, when COVID hit, it was like a blessing in disguise, even though it was an unfortunate circumstance, but it gave me time to just chill and reflect, you know? So I said, you know what, let me just chill and just rebuild and just see how I can recreate certain things and recreate different kind of music, and that's what I was doing during those times. So after COVID, let's say 21, 22, I started touring, traveling, doing shows in different countries and that. And then during those times I just thought, you know what, man, obviously I was putting 1, 2 songs out, but I wasn't pushing it like that. I was just giving the people something just to listen to. But right now, it just came to the time where, I think it's that time to give the music, man.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's very cool. I love it. I love your contribution and your honesty. But I want us to take it way back because right
Yeah.
now we have talked about your new project, which is out. Hello, it's me again. So, guys, you can check it out on all streaming platforms and add to your playlist by my brother, Kojo Fans. Is just recently dropped a new project, which is called Hello, it's me again. It's out on all streaming
Yeah.
platforms, so you can check it out. So, Kojo, I want us to take it way back from your debut project, which is Golden Boy. I know
Yeah.
you have a lot
My
of
first
hits.
album.
Yeah, your debut
Mm.
album. I want us to talk about it. And you have a lot of hit songs on it. You have Don't Talking on it, with Abracadabra, and a lot of songs on it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What was like the state of mind when creating that body of work?
Ooh. Well, we can say I was around 21 years old, right? Growing up in the UK, London to be precise, in the urban areas, is like, it was a bit tough. Like, a lot of things were going on around those times, you know? And music was I could say it was like therapy. So anytime I could get in the studio and record, I just felt good and different, you know, and just I had to express myself through the music. And so I did so. And then that's how those songs came about. Like it was a different kind of atmosphere during those times. That's like 2016 when I started recording that album. And yeah, man, it was like, nah, the music has to kind of give us this feel good feeling, you know, and that's how it was. It was like it was feel good. It was feel good music to us because of the circumstances we was in those times, which was rough, you know. And yeah, man, it's a blessing, man. You know.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
Kojo, will you say that project was a defining moment for you in your music career?
definitely, most definitely, defining moment. You know, how many? About 3, 4 hits on there, which we didn't know would blow like that. You know, we didn't know that people would receive the music like that. We were just making music because it was like therapy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And yeah, man, it changed my life completely.
Okay. So after getting multiple hit songs on that project, did it kind of
Yeah.
mount pressure on you to do more, to give a lot of hit songs because you were doing records for the Who's, for them to resonate with, and right now you're doing songs which is being played on the radios, on the TVs. Did it kind of mount pressure on you at that point?
Not really, not really. I make music because I love it. I don't try to be technical with it or try to compete and all these things. No, I make music because I love making music. you know. And there was no pressure at all. There was no pressure at all. I'll be honest.
Okay, that's very dope because I know Don't Talking was a huge song and it was played massively in Ghana here. And one of our very own from West Africa, Davido, sampled your song Don't Talking. And later on,
Yeah,
ASCAP credited you for Songwriter of the Year. How was the feeling like for you?
yeah, that was a good feeling. Big up Davido all the time. Um, a big artist like that, especially from Africa, to acknowledge what you created and to kind of recreate, if you want to say, and give it to the masses is a compliment. It's a compliment for sure. And being credited for that, like, even though he used a bit of dumb talking, it still means a lot. You know what I'm saying? It means that people actually recognize the work that I've created. So it's an honor. It's an honor for sure.
Okay, that's very cool. I want us to talk about your working relationship with Malik Berry because he was on
Mm,
your project as well. How was the
yeah.
relationship like?
Oh, that's my brother, man.
Okay,
That's my brother, man. Very talented. Very talented. At first, he was a producer, but then he transitioned into an artist, and he was like, "Raw, yo, this guy, he got different talents." You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, nah, it's a blessing. He's a cool guy, man. Cool guy for sure.
Okay. So, Kojo, I want to know why do people call you the king of Afro swing? Where did that come from?
You know what? The king of Afro swing. When I was in the studio recording, the music it didn't sound like your typical UK kind of music. You know what I mean? Like there was a blend. It was a mixture of different sounds, but it was like, okay, let me say this. It was Afro. It had the African elements. It had the dancehall elements, but then it had the British dialect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a blend of all those. So whenever I used to play my music to people around my hood or my neighborhood, they'll be like, "Yo, like this sounds different. Like this is not typical." So I'm like, I have to give it a name. So I used to listen to a lot of New Jack Swing,
Okay.
and I love New Jack Swing because of the melodies, like the melodies they use. People like Bobby Brown and New Edition and those old guy, and I used to listen to those. So I used to try and implement the melodies with the Afro, with the dancehall, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna say Afro swing, because it's got that core African element, but it swings from genre to genre.
Yeah.
So that's why I came up with the name Afro Swing. So when I started saying Afro Swing, people just, clicked onto it and just started naming it. So they heard it from me first, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dope.
And they
Dope.
call me
Dope.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how influential has it been on the next generation who are trying to, duplicate the same style?
Oh, it's been very influential. It's been very influential. Sometimes they say, Kojo, this artist trying to sound like you. This artist trying to sound like, and I'm like, yo, that's the influence, man. That's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. You know what I mean? And there's a whole heap of artists that are trying to, you know, not recreate, but they're trying to tackle that the Afro swing sound, and that's it's good, man. It's good. A lot of people recognize it, so can't complain.
Yeah. And I know, Kojo, you have been doing this for a decade now, and I want us to take it back. 2017 Mobile Awards newcomer, and we know there are some of your colleagues who are also very active in the music industry as well, where they were nominated with you, the likes of the names of Georgia Smith, who's also nominated in the same category with you during then. Steph London too was in. At that
Yeah.
moment, competing with this set of talented people, how was the feeling like for you?
Um, I feel like it was an honor, man, just to be amongst those great artists. Um, all of us being recognized for the creativity that we're creating and the talent that we got. Yeah, it was a good feeling. I didn't even care about winning or losing, or it was just being there, being amongst the other colleagues, like my peers, man. It's a great feeling, like being recognized for what we're doing. So it was good, man. It was good, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. Could you, a
Yeah.
decade in the game, if you look back, what would you have done differently?
Ooh, it's a good question. Um, hmm, that's a very good question. What would I have done differently? I feel like I would have. There maybe two things. I would have. I would have created more than what I did. I feel like I went on the road too much than being in the studio. Because if you think about it, I've got one album. If I stayed in the studio more than being on the road and doing shows and traveling, I would have had about 5 albums by now.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
real.
So I feel like I would have done that a bit more different, And I would have understood the game a bit more, the business side of things. As I was young, you know, the fame and all these stuff, like it's like wow, it was coming at a fast pace. So I kind of neglected the business side of things. I would have understood that a bit more. Obviously, I know it now, but if I had it at a younger age, a lot of things would have been different. But I don't regret nothing though. I don't
Okay.
regret nothing.
So, Kojo, the next question I want to ask you is, do you think not having enough in your discography has kind of affected you in a way?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like it hasn't affected me negatively. I wouldn't say that, but yeah. Then again, it's like, well, I could have more than what I have. I could have more than. But yeah, man, we don't regret nothing, man.
Cool, cool. There's more to come. Right now, I have a
Yeah,
new project
definitely.
out. Hello, it's
Yeah.
me again. So, definitely, there's going to be a song for more project that will be coming pretty soon.
Yes, definitely.
So, when should we expect that?
I ain't gonna say nothing,
But I
but it's
don't.
definitely coming. It's definitely coming soon, and some big features,
Wow.
very big features. Yeah, 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 for sure,
I
for
hope you are,
sure.
I hope you are going to put your Ghanaian brothers on.
I have to, man. Come on, man. Yo, listen, I have to big up my brother Medical. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's my brother, man.
Wow.
That's a real guy right there, man. Always
Okay.
salute him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, should we
Yeah.
expect any potential collaboration with Medical?
Oh, we got one, two songs that are ready, but there will be more though. There will be
Okay.
more.
Okay.
There'll be more to
Okay.
come.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So, currently, which Ghanaian artist do you love to work with?
yeah. MDK, man.
MDK. Okay. Okay. Okay.
MDK.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want us to talk a bit about your relationship with Wizkid because you guys have a song out. I like
Yeah.
it, which you sample Donald Jones R&B classic. But I want us to
Yeah.
start with the sampling of the song. How was the process like?
So there's a producer that I was working with. It's my brother Rhymes. He's UK based, and he came to me one day. He's like, "Yo, like I got two samples here. The other sample was Case and um, the Donnell Jones one." And I was like, "Yo, the Donnell Jones one is it's got that summery feeling, man. And I'm like, nah, I've got to do something to this. So I just went in the booth straight away, and I was like, nah, yo. I'm like, in no way that you know what I'm saying? And I started creating the whole song. But then when I finished creating the song, I said, yo, I need to get someone on this, like, just to add some flavor to it. And funnily enough, Wizkid was in town from tour, and he told me to pull up to the studio. DJ Spinall kind of introduced him to me, or he kind of mentioned my name to Wiz, and Wiz kind of heard, what was going on, the songs that I've been making, whatnot, and he just told me to pull up to the studio. I played him that song, and he loved it, and he did his bit, and then we created a masterpiece, man. But the sampling was from Rhymes, a producer called Rhymes, and it was like, I feel like you'll do good on this song, and we did.
Okay. It's a big tune, but I want us to talk a little bit about the video of the song.
Yeah,
When you guys were on set, when you were on set with Wizkid, do you have any
yeah.
memories of it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
So because Wiz was touring at the time and I was touring, the schedules. When we come and link up, don't worry.
Yeah, before link up. Yeah, before link
Yeah,
up.
for link up.
Right now,
Yeah,
I want us to talk about the state of Afro beats because you have been traveling around the world, doing shows, performing here and there. In the
yeah.
UK, what's the state of Afro beats, and how are people in the UK gravitating to Ghanaian music? Let's talk about our DNA sound, which is high life. But I want us to start
Yeah,
with Afro beats before we talk about high life.
yeah. Um, the people love Afro beats here, though. In the clubs, you always hear Afro beats. You always hear Ghanaian music. Whether you don't hear it or not, Ghanaian music is getting played over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. There's nothing wrong. Like, we got talented artists. There's a lot of talented African or Ghanaian artists. You know what I'm saying? To be precise. Yeah, man. I just feel like we need more collaborations. I feel
Okay.
like music is about collaborating, man. Just bringing different ideas together. You know what I'm saying? Like, individually, artists are great. They're talented, but two is better than one, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I just feel like Ghanaians, we just need to collaborate more, man. That's it.
Okay,
But
that's very
Ghanaian music's getting played over here, for sure.
dope one,
Yeah.
dope one, dope one. One thing I want to ask that this year has been a very defining moment for Ghanaian music because we are playing a lot of shows in the UK, the likes of Sarkodie, what's the name? Purple
Stonebread,
Smoke, Stoneboy, a whole lot of artists.
Medical. Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, all this happening, how does it put the Ghanaian community when it comes to music and art and everything in the UK?
Well, in terms of them doing shows here,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good idea. I feel like it's great. I feel like it helps in elevating and enhancing the scene. Um, Although there's a lot of Ghanaians here, but it showcases to the other masses or the other cultures that we've got things going on. You know what I mean? And I feel like Ghanaians should continue to do that. You know, they should definitely because it shows what the culture's about, man. It shows what the culture's about, and then it pushes the music. It brings new eyes onto the music, new ears onto the music. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing
Okay.
for sure.
So when are we getting, let me say, Kojo fans concert in Ghana, bringing your brothers from the UK to join you to push the movement as well, to push the culture?
Yeah, nah, that's true, man, and we've been thinking about that. I just feel like God's timing is the best timing. We don't want to rush nothing. I'm not about rushing. I'm about being good at being perfect. Not perfect, but just right timing. Right timing definitely will happen for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So Kojo
Yeah.
fans, last words to your fans, and anything you want to talk about your new project to the people who have not tapped into it yet?
Well, to the people that haven't tapped in, go listen to it. Go stream it. Go find out where it is. Hello, it's me again. It's got beautiful music on it, real music, real feel good music. You won't be disappointed at all. Different blends of different sounds. So yeah, go stream it. Go find it wherever it is. It's all any platform you can find it for sure. And I want to big up everybody. That's been locked in from day one. To all my Ghanaians. we're representing hard over here for
Wow.
sure, man. We're flying the flag, you know what I mean, and that's the main thing, just to show our culture. And everybody should continue to support. If you're not supporting, you should support now. You know what I mean? You'll never be disappointed, definitely. But big up everybody, and I'll just say this: God is in control always. So always put God first to everybody. That's the main advice I'll give.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So nice talking to you, Kwejo. My brother Kwejo is out with a new
my
song.
brother.
Hello, it's me again. You can check it out on all streaming platforms and add to your playlist. Guys, let's take a musical break. I'll be back in a bit.